fast. Hey, John. So, a question here is: should you fast?
Mhm.
And then John will give his answer. Mike, could you give us an intake on that also?
Mhm.
So there's an edit portion. Hey guys, so there's a clean edit portion to go into that. Unless Bobo messes it up like he's going to. Ooh, we are high and dry over here. Absolutely fun training this morning. Nice little workout. New magazine out right here. You guys can pick that bad boy up. Custom Trends. Welcome to the team, Custom Trends. Well, hi, everybody. Hello, everybody. So today's going to be a rock and roll day. If there is questions, and they're good questions, I'll try to go off of anybody and everybody. But good questions will be also posted over on my YouTube channel and my Instagram page. So hopefully you're using your names. I know a lot of people use made up names and stuff, but give us the name too if you want that promotion on the discussions that we're having today. All right. See, that's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a great one already. We'll come back to that. All right. Well, if you're over in Michigan, make sure to stop over. We'll be out there in Ohio. Another good one. Depends on your goals.
Questions exploding.
I love it, guys. Good questions so far right here. Hello from the motherland. Hello. Did everybody or everybody get their workouts in this morning? And here's a question, and do write the question down of this. So my question to you guys is it more important to get your workouts during the week? You 7 days during the week, you get your 5 workouts in, let's say, 3 to 5 workouts in. Is that the most important thing for the week when it comes to the body? Or would it be that a good nutrition plan for you to reach your goals and you missed your workouts this week? Which is more important, the training itself with a whatever diet, or no training and a good nutrition plan? I'd love to hear your guys' take on what your concept and belief would be on that aspect. Your what? Oh, that's your name. Well, how do you pronounce that name? Mahak? Ireland. I love it. You guys are up and rocking and rolling. And here's one of my golden people out there, the incredible Mary and the pups. Give the best to the main man. And I hear just great things, Mary, from the team that you're doing great, Titan Medical team and everything. So just props to you, man. I'm so happy things are looking up and up when it comes to the health. You guys are good. I love it. A lot of good questions going here. Good questions. You guys are rocking and rolling. I love that. We got some it's for Big Johnny here.
Hey.
Hi, superstar.
How you doing?
We are crushing. We're very toxic today. Just because we had a
toxic, huh?
Yeah, it's bad when you got a whole bunch of black belt Brazilian jiu-jitsu guys over, and Mona's talking smack to them too. So it's outlifting them. So it's a good day.
It is a good day for sure, especially there.
Jeffrey, if I wanted to hit his volume, is it on the computer or on this?
It's right where you hold top right.
Right here?
Second option.
Oh, there we go. There we. Yep. Johnny, say hello. Anything?
Hello.
Oh, beautiful. Look at, I'm losing my eyesight and my hearing. Hey, Beast, I understand that you have a celebration coming up here in another, I guess, week and a half or so.
Yeah. 44 is coming quick. I know it's young
buck.
to you, but man, it's older to me.
That's the oldest
But,
you've
you
ever
know,
been.
That's right. So 23rd of February is my birthday. Yeah. And, Sharice puts on this gathering of people. And it's good. I don't see some people, maybe once or twice a year. And I definitely see them usually at this event. So it's a good thing getting together, seeing everybody, and, having a good time, getting a couple laughs, talk about some old things and create new memories. So, it's always a good time. Like I said, I get to see people, maybe once or twice a year, some of these guys or girls. And it's a blast, it's a blast. So I'm looking forward to it. I always like seeing, my people, man, it is what it is. So
If there's anybody
hopefully
that
you'll get to
should
come.
have a big bash, it's you, because to me, you work nonstop, 7 days a week,
Yeah.
and a lot of your stuff that you have to do is you have to be out there in the limelight, and the I guess to me it reminds me of the old school '90s when I first got down here for the acting
Yeah.
world.
Yeah.
You got to go to the premieres, you got to go to the parties, you got to
Yeah.
do all that, and you are out there and you're doing it. So I think this
Yeah.
one, you somewhere partying up, having fun, pool party, rent it, tons of baddies and some hot bikinis. I'm just saying.
I mean, that's a good day. Yeah, that's definitely a good day for sure. So, yeah, I mean, listen, I don't. This will probably be like a night gathering. As from what Sharice told me as far as that goes. I will say it's going to be at the Motor Enclave, which is like a beautiful event center, community. As far as motorists, we had an event there this last Saturday, Cars and Couture, which we put on for many years, and it knocked the socks off any other year that we've ever had. And it's
great.
just like I said, it's amazing. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it. But hey, listen, pool party, girls in bikinis, some good foods, good steaks. Hey, I'm rocking and rolling there too.
You're gonna have the cookies though. You're gonna have to have these cookies.
I'll
Right?
have to have some
Sunday,
cookies.
at
I've been
least.
pretty good at my diet.
Man, these cookies that he has, top notch. And you got to carb up once in a while, so the cookies come into play.
Cookies, yep, definitely milkshake. Definitely got to have that too as well.
Well, let's jump into this. This is a big week. So what do we have specials going on over there at Titan Medical?
Well, obviously Valentine's Day is coming up, right? And when I said earlier, I'm like, listen, yeah, like, you think your girl wants, flowers, you think they want candy or chocolates. Like, no, they want you. They want all of you, right? All the passion, all the love they could possibly get. So, obviously for Valentine's Day, we had libido enhancing, bedroom enhancing therapies on special. And it was buy 5, get 1 free. So if you buy 5 of our Supermans, which are sildenafil, or if you're on HRT with us, you can get that with micronized testosterone too as well in there. That's a good one. Or Iron Man, sildenafil, and arginine.
What does that mean? Because I think for the viewers, they may not know. It's
okay.
The pill with a little bit of tea. Is that right?
Yeah. So what it is we have regular sildenafil for people who are not on hormone replacement therapy, so not on testosterone. And then we make another version that has the sildenafil, the exact same amount. It's 110 milligrams. And we put 10 milligrams of micronized testosterone in that troche. You're going to ask me why? Well, the reason is because with the sildenafil, right, that's going to increase blood flow to the extremities and create the erection. And you'll get an erection probably, 4 hours of taking the medication. So, you can go multiple times, right? And usually older guys got the younger girls, and the younger girls want to go more times. So they have enough oomph and energy for the first round. And they get up and they go off. Now the girl wants to go again. Now, the erection get up but the endurance and stamina is not going to be there. So with the micronized testosterone, it's micronized, so it doesn't release in an ester. So it's right automatic. So it hits you right away. Okay. And this is going to give you that
Literally.
little boost.
Is that too soon? Sorry.
Would you
I
say?
said literally hit you.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
It's going to give you a little boost. It's like a little hit of nitrous in a car. Pow, you're ready to go. That car only does quarter miles in 8 seconds, but you know what? You hit the nitrous, you're going to be able to go in 7. So, it gives a little bit more stamina, endurance, and for this, the guys love it. It's definitely a performance enhancer too, as well in the bedroom. So, you can step it up right there. We have our sildenafil and arginine, which are Iron Man. Now, sildenafil already creates a massive amount of blood flow by vasodilation to the extremities for the erection. But arginine, it just plays a whole nother level of blood flow as far as, with the erection and massive amounts. That's why we say it's an Iron Man, because literally you're like an Iron Man pushing, right? So that's going to be that. We have our PT141 injectable, which is great because this works off the nervous system instead of the blood flow and vasodilation. And you still get the blood flow and vasodilation from PT141. But the amazing thing is it differs in so many different ways from the other ones because it creates true libido effect. So even with, like I said, with sildenafil or tadalafil, Viagra, the active ingredient, or tadalafil, which is Cialis' active ingredient, you can get the erection. That's not a problem. But do you have the drive? And guys that take this medication will know. Like, all right, like once I, get off, or I don't really feel anything, but I can get an erection, that's no problem. But I'm really not into this. And this gets you into it. And you can also use it with your partner. And it just drives up pleasure and excitement on both ends. So it's truly a relationship enhancing therapy, I would say, especially if both parties use it. It's only going to stimulate things. There's no negative side effects. You're not going to build a tolerance to it. It can definitely improve relationships in this fact alone. Most females out there can't achieve orgasms, right? This is a fact, right? I would say like 30 to 40% is what they said, just because of different things that may have happened to them in the past, something to the genitals that got messed up, some of that effect. So if this lowers that and it actually lets them achieve orgasms, then right then and there, that, happy wife, happy life, that statement's true, right? If you can truly pleasure your partner, that's a great aspect of the relationship because you have the emotional, you have the sexual, you have the physical. So at that point, that's an improvement. There's a lot of people that can't pleasure their partner, or they don't know that they're not pleasuring their partner. And this leads them to go down other paths. And at that point, I think if there's one thing you would know if you're good in the bedroom, if you take care of your wife or your partner, you can get away with a little bit more, I guess, because you're pleasuring them that much, right? They're willing to overlook some of the different things or flaws that you may have.
He's great in the bedroom. Personality's not so good, but
well, and that goes to the other fact. Like if you have personality, that's one aspect. But if you're good in the bedroom, that's one aspect. You can have the bedroom portion, the personality is not there, or the interest isn't there. And either way, you're putting them in Uber and you're sending them home. So, that's just a different aspect of things.
Okay, I got a question for you, just so I'm correct on this. So we talked about a couple of the different types of pills that they can do, and then this last one is an injection, correct?
Right.
And the name of
this
that
is PT141.
PT141.
Yeah, and that is FDA approved for hyposexual desire disorder. So at that point, it truly does. The studies are there. I mean, it's proven. So I mean, it's pretty good, and it's something where you don't have to take it before sexual activity. So it's something you would take like a maintenance dose every week, and you'd be ready to go whenever you want. So it's pretty cool in that aspect. Now, if you're not into injections, we do make it in oral form, and we add 2 other components to it. So we do tadalafil, which the vasodilator, it's the active ingredient Cialis. We do oxytocin, which is the bonding hormone. And then we do PT141 in that too as well. So 3 different aspects. And sometimes on the injectable, some people can get nausea sometimes, and we'd have them dose it down lower than what they were doing. But with the oral form, they really won't get any nausea. So that's a little bit benefit for them too as well. The only other one for guys out there, and I don't promote it very much, but I guess we can talk about it because at my event on Saturday, I had one of my patients come up to me and tell me how awesome this is, and brought his wife up to me and told her that I'm the reason she's getting the abuse that she's getting.
Yeah.
And
what did you
so-
want for VD? I want to get piped down. All right.
yeah, so basically the other one that I would mention is, this is for guys, is our Trimix. Our Trimix is an injectable that you would inject and into the penis, and at that point create a massive erection that will not go down, at that point, for at least three hours or so. So at that point, this is something that's used for people that may not be able to take sildenafil, which is Viagra, because they're taking, medication for the heart and stuff like that, like nitro medication. So, this is different things. So this is something that can be used for that. Or I have people that they go down for a weekend in Miami, and I have some rich guys and they're taking 4 or 5 girls with them. Or I have porn stars that are, they want to be the best on set. So at that point, they're going to rock and roll no matter what. And those are the generalized customers, but a lot of people don't know about it because I don't talk
Kelly
about it a
doesn't
lot.
hear
There are
this.
clinics. This
Kelly's
is all
going
they
to be
do.
ordering Kelly's going to order a week's worth.
The guy was so happy, like he was like a kid in a candy store, like happy, like he was
He's feeling proud.
It
and
made
this
me
kid-
feel good. He was that happy.
Right.
I was like,
And she was
yes.
smiling, I'm guessing.
She was smiling too. And the thing is, he's a little bit older and she's younger.
Younger.
So it just works out really good. They've been married for a while, like over 10 years, like, really good guy. She's awesome. And, yeah, I mean, he's into all the preventative or the best things, the best of the best, like he wants. Like that's the best of the best of him. So
Question
it
for
really
you
depends
then.
on you.
For the guys out there that maybe have ED or something, would they do a blood work first? Would they call you up? How would they go about this? How would they have that discussion with somebody to say, hey, I'm having a hard time in the bedroom?
Sure. And there's a lot of guys out there in that category situation, so there shouldn't be any embarrassment out there or anything like that. But, there might be some different problems going on. Now, we don't require any blood testing for any of our libido enhancing therapies. So you can literally fill out through patient paperwork, see the provider, and get some of these different things. Now, listen, if you're younger and you're having erection problems and stuff like that, you don't have any, you're in your 20s per se or 30s, right? You shouldn't have those issues. You should be right. You should be doing good. And if you're not doing good, then that's something, maybe a blood test, you should want to go down that path because it could be low T, right? We don't know that. Even for females, they lose their sex drive and they're like, oh, what's going on? It could be a low T problem. So, to do blood work is only going to benefit you by knowing what really is truly going on. And then, going from there, because if it is low T and you fix that, you might not ever need a libido enhancer ever. I mean, I don't use them, I mean, she'll kill me. Like, cause those things, they just numb me out. Like I get so much blood flow. It's just desensitized and that's just is what it is. So at that point, like, you might be in that category or, there could be some other different heart issue going on or
Is that
whatever
what
it
they
is. So
should do too? Just outside of Titan Medical, if somebody's dealing with ED, should they also just to make sure that everything's
course.
good, check with a heart
Of
doctor,
course.
see what's going on?
Of course. Cardiologists, I mean, they can see different things as far as that goes. I mean, like I said, the older you get, the more problems you'll probably have compared to a younger person. So, this is something that you didn't have or you weren't experiencing in your 20s and 30s. And now you're in your 40s. So, yeah, I think a blood test, you look there, let's say your testosterone, everything's balanced out like it should be. Yeah, I think in any situation scenario, even outside of Titan Medical Center, you should try to get to the root of the problem and fix the root of the problem instead of masking problems. Bandages work, right? But if it's an open wound gushing, that bandage is only going to work for so long before you either have to replace or it doesn't work at all at that point. So, I definitely think that people should get to the root of the problem and try to fix the root of the problem. So, it might not be testosterone and you might be having it because of other issues. And this could be because of other medications too as well. This could be antidepressants or other things that could be messing with your sexual drive or erection. So even for females, shutting off that too as well. So it's very important.
I got a question. Jumping from there into skincare, healthcare.
Sure.
Um, it- is copper back in? Do we have that? Or
Yes.
and I
So
know
right
there's
now
a
we do.
lotion. I've been using the lotion, but talk to us about people. They gain weight and then they
Sure.
lose weight, or they've been heavy for a long time and they're dropping that weight and they have that skin.
Yep.
What kind of things that they can do?
So there's a couple different things that you can utilize from Titan Medical Center if you're going through rapid weight loss, or you've got some excess skin or some different flawed areas, or you just want to be preventative too, right? There's a lot of different things. So, I mean, but all these things are going to benefit. So, I mean, when we talk about those things, we could talk about like Aphrodite serum, which is applied like a cream to the face or different areas. And it has a different number of different things. But the copper peptide GHK is in that with NAD and vitamin C and a couple other things. Then we can talk about, glutathione. Glutathione is good for the skin too as well, right? Helps radiate the skin. But then we can go into our hair, skin, and nail capsules, that have different things in there to help keep your hair nice, shiny, thick, keep growing, and plus radiate the skin a little bit too as well. We talk about injectable biotin. If we're talking about hair, this is another one. It's super important to have. And, some people, they lack this. Vitamin B7 is what it is. And that's biotin. So that's another one that we do alone. So we can combine these different ones too as well. We have our hair, skin, and nail capsules, and we combine that with our hair foam. That's another one that's great. Lantrapost is the cousin Latisse, helps thicken the hair. Then you have minoxidil, and you have finasteride in there too, topical, so they're not taking it orally. That's great for the hair, so you can utilize that. Now, when we talk about skin and collagen replacement, the GHK injectable peptide is definitely a go-to too as well. This can help if you're losing or you're trying to help with the skin elasticity to come back and fill in some of those different areas. So that's on the table too as well right now. And I don't know how long all these are going to be on the table. I mean, just the GHKCU. Like even this week, they were giving the pharmacies problems about AOD now. So it's like, why are we still fighting about this? Like there's literally one pharmacy that's supplying with the CJC. So it's like today, I'm pretty sure, I don't know if it happened yet. I know that Tulsa got confirmed. Hopefully RFK gets confirmed today.
That's what I'm waiting for.
Okay, because it's a big thing. And let me tell you how much of a big thing it's going to be. FDA is one thing, and these peptides a whole other thing. I've talked to a couple of these different pharmacy owners. A couple of them do know RFK, and RFK said, "Listen, if he gets, then it's going to be on the table and ready to go." But Amazon contacted me, and there are some high up executives in Amazon that are Titan patients. I have no idea. Like I don't even know, right? It's crazy. Like I got Tesla. I got some people that I don't know because I don't talk to everybody, and we don't ask everybody. Well, what do you do? Who are you? Like that's not what we do here. But so they contacted me and they said, listen, we've been using the products, very very interested in having you as an Amazon partner, and would like to discuss some further things online. I said, okay, great. Wow. So I'm like, all right. So I got on a call with them yesterday, talked to the guy, and basically said, listen, I want to set you up on Amazon right now. He's like, do you have any over-the-counter products that you have right now? And I said, well, we're working on some supplements right now, supplement line. Maybe 1 to 3 products that we're going to do there. But I have the merch automatically that I can throw up on there, and I have my book and stuff too as well. He's like, that's great because listen, I just want to get it established there. And then he's brought up RFK. He's like, listen, we use some of your peptides. We use some of the different products. We have the pharmaceutical side that we're instituting, and then we have the telemedicine side we're instituting, and we possibly might want to look at bringing this in. And I'm like, well, that's awesome. And they're like, and if RFK does approve this, then then we'll have the FDA backing, and this will be a whole other thing. So we'll see how that goes. But that's where I mean, it's out there. So for them to give problems about these peptides still, it's like, man, this is crazy. I mean, we keep going back and forth.
Yeah, I know you say it's crazy, but it's seen as much as, or seeing what's going on in DC and how crazy it is. I'm not surprised that something that can help you makes sense from that side of the world to ban it because of the fact that they want to make sure that they're getting the financial part of it instead
Right.
of everybody out there getting healthy and not needing medication, and the younger and
Right.
younger. And that's a continuous story. And then talking about one of the big things I talked about this morning was nutrition compared to training. I know you don't have to, and I know that I don't like the one or the other, but people's schedule gets pretty crazy. And I think something that you and I agree on is if you can eat healthy and have a good relationship with food, we would prefer the person to eat healthy for 7 days a week and maybe don't get the workouts, and relative to the person that does get 3 to 5 workouts but has a bad relationship with food.
Yeah.
We keep going back to that. It's like food isn't like medicine. It is medicine.
It is.
And
It
if
literally
you,
fuels your body
I
in
mean,
every way, shape, and form.
yeah, it sets you
You
up to
know?
win. And so that answers the questions that I asked earlier on this show, that if you could really take in consideration eating better for you and your health, and then don't fall into, I hate using the word religious beliefs, like this is the best way to diet, or keto, or vegan, or whatever. Try to go off of you doing your blood work and seeing what that says
Right.
for you, and then go off of the belief that, hey, this is working for me, whatever that diet may be or how you're eating. And you can get that through Titan Medical, and they can also help you out with the supplementation. They can tell you maybe you don't need to take all this over here. Maybe you need to get more over on the vitamin D side and the DHEA or whatever that is. Again,
Right.
instead of it being a guessing game, a blood test can actually tell you what you need, your personal self, instead of you asking everybody at the gym, asking the buff guy, hey, what should I eat? It's like, that's not going to do the trick.
Yeah. Because what works for one person may not work for another. Right. That's just the way it is. I mean, got to understand that there's certain things that work for masses in most circumstances, but that's not everybody too. So, I mean, yeah, it's always best to see how your body reacts, especially with different diets. I mean, I've seen some people swear up and down they're eating the cleanest, and the cholesterol, it doesn't look good, right? Like things do not look good in their panels, right? And I see some people and they tell me what they're eating. I'm like, I can't believe your cholesterol panels look this good. Like I'm definitely amazed with some people. Like I'm like, holy cow, man, I can't believe this, but it is what it is. I mean, I've seen some people eat fast food every single day and their cholesterol panels and everything look good. And they're like, I don't eat clean. I'm like, well, their body doesn't reflect that,
Right.
but their cholesterol is good, right? Like even my mom eats like shit, and her cholesterol. She's 73 years old, and her cholesterol looks great.
She's
Man.
killing it.
What am I going to do? I can't, but she wants to lose weight. She wants to do this. I'm like, well, I can't tell you, like, your cholesterol is going to be better, but if you want to lose weight, I'm like, I would probably change your diet a little bit, even if cholesterol is good, because you want everything to be working, not just, hey, listen, my cholesterol looks good, but does my body look good? Is my body in good shape? That's key too.
I love it. We were talking, one of my friends had a stroke, and he's not an old guy in today's society. Out there does actually was a runner to the point where he was a Olympic coach. But you're talking about athletics, and you're talking about a guy that runs and then still has issues with his cholesterol, and
right.
So yeah, just check up, guys. Check up on yourselves. Pretty simple to do. But let's jump into some questions here.
Best way to maintain fertility?
Wow, that's a great question.
It's a good one. Best way to maintain fertility: don't get kicked in the nuts. That's one.
So don't ride horses. Don't be
Sorry,
a cowboy.
Listen, fertility should be like literally like it should be a serious conversation, because fertility levels all over the world are plummeted. They're plummeted. Every country is behind. Every country, including the US. So at that point, like, we need men to be fertile. We need females to be fertile. So what's the best possible thing you can do? Well, you can eat the best you possibly can. That's one thing you should do. Train, be active. That's the other. Basically, what we say to do, the four things, those four pillars: drink water, eat, get a proper amount of sleep, get activity. These are things that you need to do, right? You need to keep your body in the best possible form you can without having anything negative come into attack. That's pretty hard, because if you're taking different medications, this could affect fertility. Different things that you might be rubbing on your body as far as creams, lotions, or intaking could affect different hormones that could affect fertility. Not messing with any sort of anabolic steroid like testosterone or any sort of SARM unless you absolutely need it and somebody's giving you a protocol. We have gonadal support where your testicles aren't just shutting down completely. These are things that you need to do. The best things I would say is there might be some natural herbs and stuff like that you could probably take to increase sperm if you need to do that. But keeping your natural fertility is just keeping your body in the best possible shape you possibly can. And then not intaking things that could possibly affect your fertility. And like I said, that could be from different things you might be rubbing on your body or intake like deodorant, creams. Like there's endocrine disrupting chemicals in some of these things. And those can mess with hormones, which can mess with
So much that hits
it's so much. You have odds going against you as far as defending off every little single thing. But I mean, this is one thing I can say, right? Like when I had Peter, I was on. No problem. When I went to go get my sperm for this thing, same thing. So, if you're fertile, you're going to be fertile and you're just going to maintain that. And this is something where, that maybe you should check too. Get a sperm analysis. Make sure you're good there. Have a baseline of things. But if your sperm isn't the best, that's something that you can improve too with some different treatments that we have at Titan or you can get somewhere else. But like, FSH, follicle stimulating hormone, we have that injectable. That's automatically going to, just electrify and increase that signal to the testicles and increase sperm count and increase, testosterone too as well. And clomiphene's another good one. And that's what we use with HRT treatments to be able to keep the guy fertile because a lot of people come to us for fertility. Okay. And one big proponent or one big guy that advocates for that to us is Dave Palumbo. And Dave Palumbo, when he wanted to have kids, we were the guys that like put him on a couple protocols and like, boom, now he has 2 kids and he's good. But that was a big thing because a lot of guys, would abuse steroids for so long and be on cycles for 20 years. Never take any sort of gonadal support. So we have to ignite their testicles from atrophy for like 20 years, right? They haven't been on, they haven't worked, nothing. So when we utilize some of these protocols, it might take a little time, but we will ignite and get those things going. But, at that point, like if you're young, you can utilize some of these different things too if you're having problems. But that's really where it's at. I mean, doing the fertility protocols if you need them, but we wouldn't take somebody off testosterone for a fertility protocol. Now, a lot of people would say that's totally wrong. That's totally wrong, John, because if you keep them on testosterone, their natural, level is going to be in the dirt and their testicles aren't going to produce semen. And that's where we go back to the gonadal support issue where, listen, and clomiphene will keep the testicles producing sperm. And if not, HCG definitely will. Okay. And with that, the reason we want to do this, because there's a reason behind it. People are like, oh, you just want to keep on testosterone. No, that's not why. Because if we pull them off testosterone, they're not going to have the drive to do the deed as much as when they're on testosterone. So the biggest thing to get somebody pregnant is you want to play the numbers game. The more sex you have, okay, the more shots you have at hitting the goal. That makes sense. Might take somebody only one time to get somebody pregnant. But usually when people have fertility problems, they're going to have to try multiple times, right? So you want to be a bull. You want to be able to go as many times as possible and shoot your shot as many times you possibly can to hopefully ring the bell at least once. So that's the reasoning behind it. So we've done this, I don't know how many times throughout 13 years. I mean, I've got people that, they write me to this day. They're happy as hell. They show me pictures of their kids. Like, this wouldn't have been possible if you guys weren't here. It's super cool to get that too as well, because I mean, that's big. And like I said, fertility's on a low end of things all over the world. And I don't know if you've noticed, and maybe you will notice because Titan's getting older, and hopefully this will change by the time Titan gets that. But kids aren't into sex anymore. Like, kids don't even want to drive. Like, Peter doesn't want to drive, right? He's going to have his license here in a couple months. He could care less right now. Now, maybe that'll change when he gets his license. But like, even
That's a
like
different
sex,
world,
like,
man.
you know,
That's
like
It's
we were kids at his age of 15 years old. We were raring to have sex, raring, right? You're getting to go to the movies as much about your interaction. I mean, come on, you're putting yourself in as many of the best positions you possibly can to maybe hit that. And a lot of these kids don't do that. Like, you would think that in the age that we live in, with all the sexualism around us, whether it's videos, rappers, whatever, OnlyFans, like that's the thing to do. It really isn't the thing to do for some of these kids. It's just for the younger generation. For us older guys, I think that's where it stops. And that stops maybe like 35, 40 is what I'm trying to say. And then I think everything underneath, especially Peter's age, those age groups, I'm telling you, it's crazy. It is crazy.
yeah. No idea. I got a little time. I got a little time before that. I need to
Yeah.
worry about that, and I don't want them fertile. I want them shooting blanks. So I don't care.
No, listen, Sharice told Peter, she's like, I don't care. She's like, get him pregnant. I don't care. I'll take care of the kids. I'm like, don't tell him that. I don't want to take care of no kids right.
Oh man. What do we got?
51 years old male here, taking testosterone injections every 4 days. Should I incorporate an estrogen blocker into my schedule? So, Robert, this is where we were talking about getting a blood test and seeing where those levels are at. Usually, if you're on testosterone from Titan Medical Center, you're most likely going to be on an estrogen blocker. I see some places out there, a lot of places are for the money grab. They're just going to sell you testosterone. Or you have a general practitioner who really doesn't utilize an anastrozole or Remedex, and they just don't feel comfortable prescribing it, or the insurance company won't cover it. So at that point, like, we would usually start you there. And a lot of places just want to say testosterone, that's it, done deal. But what's going to happen is it's going to convert. And you need to see where your conversion's at. Some people are more sensitive to that conversion, convert a lot faster and a lot more. Some people not as much. This is where a blood test will come into play, see exactly where you're at, and be able to dial it in. If you're having a problem with that, we can help you out with the missing components like an estrogen blocker or even gonadal support like enclomiphene or HCG or something of that matter to help you really get all the benefits out of testosterone replacement that you should be getting without any of the negative side effects. There are people and providers out there that say, seeing this guy has a history of gyno. So with that, there's a lot of providers out there or people that say, oh, no, don't take the estrogen blocker. Or they say, don't take the estrogen blocker until you start seeing side effects. Why would we want to wait to get side effects? I'm just asking. Like, the whole point would be, hey, listen, let's do this. Let's not get any side effects or very minimal and keep rolling. If you had gyno or previous history of gyno and you're taking an anabolic with an auto blocker, you're going to be in trouble. I mean, I'm just telling you like it is. Like, you're either going to make the gyno a hell of a lot worse, or you already have it really bad and it really doesn't matter, but you're going to get water retention, irritability, and all the other negative side effects that come with high estrogen levels. So I would say blood test, get on an estrogen blocker, and go from there.
Hey, Robert, I got a question for you. And if you can, just get back to me during this discussion. For you to be on something like testosterone and you're doing shots every 4 days, I'm assuming this is through a doctor, a family doctor, or a clinic. So, and that being said, I'm assuming it is. You're not just picking it up. And then your other statement was that you're prone to gyno. So you've done this before and you've had the issues from this. I'm curious, is there somebody overseeing this, or are you just so? Is this doctor, I mean, the person that you're working with, is this a family doctor or a clinic? because it seems like it's a little, I don't know what the word would be, loose.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, here you go, have this, and then we'll figure it out in the next 8 weeks or 10 weeks. It seems like
Hey, Mike.
something's missing, like somebody's not watching you.
Mike,
Yeah.
this is general practice.
This
across
is
the
really
board.
general
This
practice.
is general
They
practice.
just give it
across
to
the
you.
board.
Go
Yes.
to a VA. I got
It's
you.
general practice. Even in some of these, most of these clinics are like that. General practice. I mean, I had one guy come in this week.
Well, I hear the
Awesome.
VA is not it's
Yeah.
not the. I hear this all the time. We Robbie Robinson tells us weekly. This is where Robbie is, and
Yeah.
the care he gets is just unjustified.
Yeah,
It should be
it's
better.
bad.
It should be better. So I give you props that you're doing it, but I would recommend. Sorry for talking, but it just I recommend going with somebody like Titan Medical that's actually going to oversee you in a correct way. You're 51. You could do damage to yourself if you're just taking whatever they're prescribing and you're not really keeping up on the blood work and stuff. Just as my thought. My thought is that.
John,
Yeah.
could you let him know a little bit about what he would get from Titan Medical in terms of like consultations from medical providers that he's not getting right now?
Sure. So, I mean, listen, if you're going to the VA and they're prescribing testosterone, big ups, because it's a lot of hoops just to get that. So, I would say, listen, if you can get the testosterone from them, keep getting it. Get everything you possibly can for what you served in this country. But for the missing components, like estrogen blockers or even going hour support, that's where we can come into play, really help. And I want you to save money too. So that's why I would say, listen, just transfer all your care over and we'll take care of the whole thing. But if I can save you a couple dollars, that's what I'm going to do too as well. But we could monitor that, make sure everything's dialed in. And what you get from our providers is a real in-depth consultation of what's going on with your hormones, maybe something
Great
else that's going on, right? Because I haven't seen your blood work or what else they ran on you, because there might be some missing things they left off there too as well, at that point. So, you're going to get a full in-depth consultation, go over your blood work in depth.
Was it
go over,
460?
Yeah.
Which isn't bad. 460 is not bad for a 50-year-old guy.
It's not.
So it's great
It's
that
not
they
bad at all.
It's great that they gave it to him when most doctors would go 460 or 51, you're fine.
Yeah.
So I give you props to get them to do it. Now, can somebody do that? Can somebody go to the VA or their family doctor, still receive their testosterone from that person, but then also have a team over at Titan Medical checking his blood work, checking to make sure his estrogen's not blowing out there, and
Absolutely.
still have those conversations?
Absolutely, we can do that, and we can prescribe the NASH also if they need the estrogen blocker or those missing components. Then we can help them out there. Like, we're not just, oh, you got to get testosterone from us to get any service. No, hell no. I tell the people all the time, like, listen, man, if you want to go somewhere else and you're getting your pack, you just want to do blood work through us, great, do it, right? Because we'll show our value, guaranteed. Even when we're just getting blood work, we'll go over on the phone with them, and they don't even get that from where they're going. Or support, that's the other thing. You're going to get 24/7 support. Like, if you have a problem, issue, whatever, we're here. So, that's the other thing. I mean, it's a lot different. It's a lot different of an experience that you would get from the VA that you would get from Titan Medical Center.
Last question for me for Robert is your level was at 460, and now you're doing a shot every 4 days. What is your weekly protocol? And then on top of that, what is your blood level at now? Where's your T level now after you've started this? I'm just curious to see if you're in those 800 to 900 range now, or where.
Yeah, I mean, that would be it. The free two, and then the reference range, because VA might have a different reference range than what LabCorp or Quest might have. So that would be another thing to look at too as well. Good afternoon.
Thanks,
I just started
Appreciate
taking. Yeah. Oh yeah. Awesome. Good afternoon. I just started taking MK677. What you suggest taking this every day, or is it okay to do 4 days on, 1 day off? Appetite seems to rise. So, I mean, I would take it every day. Could you go the 1 day off? And you're talking about 4 days and 1 day off. No, I go 7 days. I go every single day for at least 60 days. 30 if you want to just do a small run, I guess, but 60 days and your appetite is going to rise. But when you start going down that path like longer, your appetite's going to subside a little bit because you're going to build a tolerance to MK for sure. That's why 60 to 90 days tops, and then you get off and you do something else.
Ozzy, is that it? Let me know what brought in the thought pattern on, because you want your MK is for recovery, your IGF, get those numbers up. A side effect is, yes, hunger, but you're definitely getting that kind of youth vibe going, right? Because you got such great recovery. What brought in the thought pattern of doing a 4-on 1-off? I'm just curious on that thought pattern. Like, you don't want that hunger, and you thought that the doing the lows and the highs. Because I've noticed a couple things, and I'm at Gold's Gym Venice, the Mecca, and I noticed these guys that will start TRT or start TRT, and they'll do a couple months on and a couple months off and a couple months on, a couple months off. But that's of TRT, which is a very low, healthy dose for a person to start. And I can already see your brain working. And the one thing, they're thinking something outside of what the doctors always say the same thing. When you start, we would like you to stay on that and stop going up and down with your body. But they come up with their own thought patterns, like, I'll go from a regular and I'll stop it completely because that's better for me. And they don't realize they're doing trauma to their body.
Yeah.
Do you see that a lot?
Yeah, I do. I see it shock. It shocks the body. Like the body has that drop off and like, well, what's going on here? And it has to go through like a reset pattern. You don't want that. You feel horrible during that time too, as well. That's not like you have great energy and you have great mood. I mean, you're feeling it. You're definitely feeling it, right? You're tired, fatigued. So it's not something you want to go through. Like, if you need to be on testosterone replacement, then at that point, utilize testosterone to keep your levels up and stay up. There's no reason to be getting off of testosterone if you truly need it. And even for guys that cycle testosterone, I know there's guys that are always going to do it, but listen, I'm telling you, it's really a game of Russian roulette of where those numbers are always going to come back. So at that point, like, yeah, they'll come back. Are they going to come back as good as they were previous? Probably not. So, what do you want to do there? Eventually you're going to have to get on and stay on. So I always tell people, I'm like, listen, take your genetics and take your naturalism as far as you possibly can. That's all I tell the younger guys. I'm like, listen, you got to do the right thing first, right? And then later on, like, when you start and you need it, it's going to be a game changer for you. But if you have to start and you're starting in your 20s or your teens, I hear some of these teens like 15, 16 years old taking massive amounts of tests already. I'm like, and other things. I'm like, dude, like, you're going to be on the ride for the rest of your life now.
Yeah.
I hope you're ready. Strap up those boots. And, their mentality, yeah, they have no idea what it's going to take because they're so young. They, it's a Superman mentality. Nothing's going to hurt me. I'm okay. And then reality is going to smack you in the face, and you're going to need it. And if you don't have it, you're going to be hurt.
Yeah, just a heads up to you guys that are thinking about getting healthy, or the doctor says they got to put you on something. Understand, you're just getting back to your best 20-year-old self. You're not doing anything superhuman in the sense of you're not going to be Mr. Olympia from doing this. This is just getting you back to a healthy level of you at your 20s. And so just try to keep that in mind over the thought pattern of you're going to be an Olympic athlete in 8 weeks, and so, yeah, it's just a little bit of different mentality. I think they also think that it's going to be the free ticket that I can start this pattern and I can kick off everything else, or don't have to train as hard and stuff. And again, my recommendation is you get one life, make the best of it, do the very best you can.
One body, man. That's it.
Here's one that I know you got a great one for this one. Go for it.
Deadlifts necessary?
Right. There we go. Are they necessary?
I mean, I guess I don't think they're necessary, but I mean, I guess that's up to the person that's training. Are they necessary? I mean, I get by without deadlifts, but do I think deadlifts are necessary? I mean, I guess all depends what you're doing.
Peter doesn't do deadlifts, does he?
No,
I don't think he does. Mostly at his age, right? And his length, at his length, and what he's doing.
They got him doing. They got him do.
I don't want to injure myself. Okay, those are two.
Should I do deadlifts? I don't want to injure myself. Well,
Yeah.
do a light deadlift. I mean, you don't have to go with massive amounts of weight. You can just go for form, I guess, right?
Don't do any exercise that you think will hurt you. Because the unfortunate truth of anything and everything is if you think it will, it will. So that's
you're
the
giving him an
reality.
excuse to get out of this, Mike. Yeah, you're being too nice.
But again, this is a guy that's already scared because he read something that deadlifts could hurt you.
Man,
and this guy drives on a road every single day and believes that the white line or the yellow line down the middle is going to protect you from a head-on collision. So it's like, I don't want to change his mind. I think deadlifts have kept me alive and in the game. And then we went to this crazy, ridiculous, no point necessary, these deficit deadlifts we've been doing this last couple of years. Holy cow. Yeah, it just took me up another notch that I did not see. And I wish, and I'm still learning. I wish I did these in my teens.
Really?
Yeah, I do.
I'm gonna start this now.
The range of we got a 6-inch block, and we're doing sumos, but we're not doing sumos where that back's coming into play. We're trying to do sumos again. I believe a deadlift is a push, not a drag.
Mm-hmm.
There's two different ways, and I get it. When you're 20, I'll drag anything up. I like the fact of trying to keep it, and you're pushing out of the hole. It's a football hit. You're driving up and through him. Don't drag that up. And so we've been doing this, and it has enhanced my bench press. It's enhanced my shoulder press. It's just the way it fires and gets that body, and the range of motion we're doing is tenfold. And we're just basically setting ourselves up in the most weakest position possible and strengthening up that much. And if you can't do as much weight, because you're coming off a 6-inch platform.
Right.
Biggest 6 inches.
Yeah, it's a white boy 6 inches, so it's really big. So, it's great. And so for me, a guy in his 50s, I don't believe it will hurt me. I believe it's going to enhance my longevity even that much more. But do you need it in your workout plan? No. Go and do pull downs. Go and do T-bar rows. You're fine.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's really up to the person that's training, right? Like if that's what works for them and they like it, incorporate it. I mean,
I just know for me,
start doing them now.
I want to gut wrench Titan when he's about 12 and at 6'2". I want to gut wrench his ass up and over and go, I'm still in charge. So that's why I'm keeping these bad boys in when he starts popping off and bumping into me in the hallway.
All right. Advice on what I should eat and what exercise should I do to get back for football? I'm turning 15 this year.
Congrats, kid.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here. Thanks for jumping onto this at that age. Props. Yeah, Johnny, 15.
Yeah. 15, man. That's Peter's age. So, dude, eat a whole bunch of good food. Eat a whole bunch of awesome proteins, right? Like, carb it up all day because you're going to be training a lot. Obviously, you're already training for football. I'm sure if you're in a football program, that's one thing that I know about every football program around the country. Usually, they want you in the weight room. Usually, you're training, right? Yeah. Summer before you come in, and then once you make the team, you're training. Even, during the year, you're training. So, what exercise should you do to get back for football? I mean, explosive training. We were talking about things last week, right? Yeah. Like explosive movements and stuff like that, depending on what position you're at too as well. And then obviously, listen, you want to start building up the body in every way, shape, and form. That's where you start working out the different muscle groups and start building those up and be a monster all over, right? And then, make sure, like I said, it definitely depends on your position, but you're going to definitely get your conditioning into as well, obviously in the football field. So,
Yeah.
If you're a lineman, that's one thing. If you're a running back, it's a whole other thing, or cornerback,
A couple things I'd recommend is find a hill. Find a hill if you can, a sand hill, a dirt hill. Get some sprints up that bad boy. Also, do your cone works, just your fours. Your down, overs, backs. Get that footwork. I know that you guys don't do 2-a-days anymore, which is mind blowing to me because
that's crazy.
2-a-days just sets you up to be strong in life. But I think they tone that down quite a bit. Food, you're 15, you're in that stage of puberty, so you are golden. You're golden if you can eat, and don't eat like these kids that are saying, hey, calories in, calories out. Try to eat potatoes, red meat. I had my peanut butter and my peanut butter sandwiches. You're burning a lot. 15, like you said, you have an issue getting Peter enough food.
Yep.
Correct?
I do. Yes.
Yeah. This is the stage where, man, I'd rather you be over that surplus tremendously and put on a little extra weight relative to just burning that thing off every day.
Yeah.
Because football, you're going to lose 20 pounds from when you start the season. I always did.
Absolutely. The heat.
What's some food that you give Peter?
Steak, chicken, white rice, potatoes. He eats fish. And then, of course, like I can't stop him doing this garbage, but he'll eat garbage food, man. He'll get these other calories in, which I don't like in particular. I'm not around.
As long as but the only problem with the garbage food is it's taken away from maybe 2 hours later eating something good because there's still stuff from it. Is that why?
Well, I just, at that point, I would like him to be a little bit more healthier in what he eats. I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
I mean, and so much more education than what we had when we were kids, like, listen, when I went to McDonald's, I remember my grandma, Yaya, she took me in. And I was like 8 years old. And all I wanted was a damn Happy Meal. And, man, she went to the manager. She's like, all right, what oils are you cooking these in? Like, she got my food. She, like, patted all down, all the grease. I'm like, I just want the, like, but now as we're older and we have the education about kind of what's in these foods and what it's doing to us, I want him to be educated about it. I want him to do the right thing just for himself. Like, it will improve him all the way. I'm like, all right, listen, you'll perform better. You'll mentally think better. Your body's going to be better. Like, it's not a bad thing to eat good. Like, I think that's what it is. And like, I think the reason is because there's so much pressure to eat all these other junk foods that are around because friends are eating it, commercials, all the marketing that goes into it. And I would say 85 to 90% of the places when you go out, it's bad food, right? Like gas stations, fast food joints, even restaurants, like majority of the food is like garbage. Unless you go to a really high-end restaurant and you're paying a lot of money, you can get some good food. Or you go to the kiddie menu and you get grilled chicken breasts. That's the way that I order Uber. Like if I'm in a different town or city and there's not something that I want to eat that's going to be good, I usually go to the kiddie menu, order grilled chicken, and that's usually the most bland and most cheapest food that you can get on the menu. I mean, if he could eat better, I think it would be a lot better, right? I think he would, So it's something that I don't know. I as a father, I don't want to keep harping on him on it, but I think it's important, so I do. It's a tug of war, I guess. I don't know. I mean,
I'm with you. I fully understand. I'm thinking back to this for this 15-year-old. I ate a lot of JoJo's, peanut butter sandwiches, whole milk.
Milk.
And milk. Tons of pasta, tons. Yeah, I'd have a gallon of milk a day. That was my go-to. My proteins were mostly because I lived on a farm. It was a lot of chicken and a lot of eggs, whole eggs. So those I was lucky to do. So let me know how tall you are right now and that growth spurt and how much do you weigh too, so we can try to give you somewhat of an idea on how much to take in. But write it down. Have fun writing it down on your calorie intake. Okay.
Yeah. Been dealing with my SI joint. Any thoughts? Hip health. Sorry for so open ended. Just curious. Appreciate you, Mike. SI joints, BBC and TB 500 what I'd use for joint areas like that. I mean, that's going to give you the best possible. It's going to be the best possible outcome, hopefully, for what you got going on. Inflammation taken away, that'll be the other one. Maybe some glutathione to take inflammation out of the body too, as well. That's what we would do for sure.
Yeah, those are some of the things. Continue to try to keep that range of motion in there, and then down the road, there's a good chance Johnny's going to be teamed up with somebody that does PRP or stem cell. You know how bad it is or isn't, but right now, get on the peptides, get on the BPC, TB.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see about the stem cells. Hopefully, we'll have a good outlet for you guys to be able to go get stem cells done. That'd be great. Is Titan okay with splitting doses into biweekly injections if the patient prefers? Biweekly. So splitting the dose, right, 2 times a week would probably, that's what we do for our patients already, right? So it doesn't matter, sub-Q or IM. I wouldn't really recommend sub-Q. That's something that a lot of people are doing to microdose testosterone daily, and they swear like the levels are more even and all. Like I just wouldn't do it. I would do, split my dose, shoot it 2 times a week, 3 days apart. You'll be good to go.
Explain this to me, what he's saying, bi-weekly.
So I think he's saying every other week or weekly injections. Are you a fan of bi-weekly or weekly injections? So weekly injections, right? Because what happens is you have some doctors out there that they prescribe, general practitioners, the majority of them, that prescribe testosterone every 2 weeks. So you only take 200 milligrams and you only get it every 2 weeks. You're really hurting on that second week, really hurting, right? Because you've just dropped off. It's just, you're coming down crashing. So we would definitely not recommend
through you within 10 days, it's cleaned out of your system.
Yeah.
Is
it would be
the
on
continuous
the
that I hear.
Yeah, it would definitely be crashing. I meant twice per week, bi-weekly, sorry, wrong word. All right, so twice per week is what we do here at Titan. And that means that you're going to split your dose, go even keel. So at that point, that's what we would do.
That's a great question. And that's something Johnny already recommends.
Yeah.
So again, for you guys that are home, Johnny believes in your shot. So it's a more proportional shot. And so you're more at a baseline or whatever your levels are. Okay.
You're going to stay up. You're going to go up and stay even keel the whole time instead of the roller coaster, up and down, up and down, up and down.
I love it.
Hey guys, my EGFR was 77, indicating possible kidney issues. 90 is normal. Nutritionists recommend 100 grams of protein instead of 200 or 225 that I eat. Is this a common issue? Any advice? I'm 34, 6'2", and 225. Okay, let's break this down. This is a personal subject for me. So your EGFR. So when you look at a blood test and you look at your CMP, a comprehensive metabolic panel, there's a couple of different things in there you want to look at. One is your EGFR. Your EGFR is per se what your kidney function is at, okay? And chronic kidney disease is something that troubles a lot of people out there. And a lot of people are in different stages of chronic kidney disease and they have no idea. They have no idea. Even when they go see their general practitioner, and let's say it's an 80 or 90, let's say it's an 80, they'll never tell you that you're in chronic kidney disease and you're at stage 1 or stage 2. So, and a lot of people are in stage 2 and they don't even know. So with this, when I'm looking at this, we want to incorporate and look at the BUN and creatinine levels too as well, right? That plays a part. And this will kind of look at, were you hydrated that day? Did you work out the day before? These are different factors that can skew or maybe lower that result to what it is. So what I'd recommend is doing another CMP. Make sure you're fully hydrated. I mean, drinking water the whole day through and the day of, all the way up into the blood test. not doing any strenuous activity or working out the day before, going back in and redoing the EGFR and seeing where it's at. If you're at a 77, usually you can improve your EGFR with a couple points. Just depends on how long you've been at a 77. So if you've been at a 77 for 3 years, probably not going to be able to improve that. So at that point, you're going to want to stabilize. Now, they say that eating red meat and eating a whole bunch of protein can affect the kidneys. It's kind of conflicting because if you look at, because I've read all this material, because they give us all the material with my dad, and I'll read it first, like what you can eat. And then if you look at the material of what you can eat and what you can't eat, it both says red meat. It's really weird how it lays that out. Like, all right, well, should I not or should I? And then the protein factor. I've seen plenty of people eat their baseline protein 1 gram per 1 pound and not have any kidney problems whatsoever. There could be other things that are affecting your kidneys. How is your blood pressure? This is something that affects your kidneys directly. It's a silent killer. It's something you should look at. The second thing is, where are your sugar levels at? Where's your hemoglobin A1C at? Are you a type 2 diabetic? This will directly affect your kidneys too as well. If you have both of these things, you're at even higher risk for them to affect your kidneys. So that's what I would look at first before lowering my protein all the way down to 100 grams. 100 grams is pretty low. And I don't even think eating 100 grams was going to affect your kidney levels to improve those kidney levels even better. Because if you're intaking 225 grams of protein, that's pretty normal as a basis level. I mean, you're going to be able to sustain that without damaging kidneys. If you're eating 3 or 4 times that, that could be a different statement. You know, it could be a different result, right? So, you know, I would look at your EGFR, but do the things necessary before the blood test. Drink water all the way up to the blood test, fully hydrated, and make sure you don't do any strenuous activity or lifting the day before.
Something else I noticed they keep talking about is also this gentleman is a big human. He's a 6'2", 225-pound person, and so the numbers may be skewed a bit just because he's a large human and he's carrying a lot of muscle on him. It's something I've seen over and over again on a lot of the readings. The doctors come back and go, he's just a large human. His number's going to be a different entity. And they do a lot of cool, what I like is the research they do is they do a lot of these bigger guys and they give them this kind of protein. You know, this 100 grams, this 875 grams, that's what you do. And they test it again in 6 months and they come back at the same as the bigger
Same thing.
portion. Because again, you don't need much protein to retain the muscle you have. You're taking in that extra for calorie intake and then also to build muscle, but to retain the muscle you have. And so it's interesting. It comes back. It's a new age. It's the cool thing is Titan Medical works with elite athletes as well. And a 6'2", 225 guy is not an average person.
No.
Try it, and you can also test it for yourself. Go down to that 100 grams for the next 6 months, and test it again.
Yeah. Thoughts on thymosin alpha-1? Doesn't have to be taken daily. Thymosin alpha-1 is a game changer, guys, for immune system boosting, building, and fortifying all the way around. This can be taken 3 times a week. Would I take it every day? Absolutely, 100%. This is something that would definitely be added into the mix. That would be very, very beneficial, especially if you have any sort of autoimmune disease. This is going to be awesome. You can eat, and we don't prescribe to cancer patients, but there is clinical data on cancer patients too. So at that point, you might want to read up on that. I definitely give that to some loved ones. But that's something that I would never spout off because I don't prey on people that have cancer. Like, oh, I need something like this. So it's something you should look into, though, for sure, 100%.
Used to treat conditions, people with autoimmune diseases, hepatitis.
Hepatitis
this is
also.
B, C.
Yeah, hepatitis C. Like the other thing is like it's really good. It will actually improve vaccinations, right? It makes it even better, like it actually to work. It will actually help chemo patients too as well. So there's a lot of big benefits from thymosin alpha-1. And what it basically does is it sends out two types of cells, T cells, killer cells and helper cells. And they go and they track down these bad cells. The killer cell just, takes it out, and the helper cell helps rebuild back the cell. So super cool all the way around. Thymosin alpha 1 was a big one. I've always taken this. It was taken away from us during the virus times because there was pharmacies. Yeah, I can't say. I'm not going to say the other word just in case. But during the virus times, what happened was this was a big seller, and there was pharmacies out there. And what happens is a lot of doctors, they don't know about these things. So what do, they have a pharmacy rep, and the pharmacy rep will tell them what these things do and who they should prescribe them to. And that happens in a general practitioner's office too as well. Like a Pfizer rep comes in and says, hey, listen, doc, I got this new thing for like inflammation or joints. Here's some samples. Go ahead and prescribe it to your patients. Let me know how it goes. So they do that, right? So when they gave the briefing on this, it was like a seminar. And this pharmacy rep was basically telling these doctors that this was the cure to the virus. This will knock out, eradicate the virus. So then these physicians, the one was out in California that did it, were spouting off that this was the virus cure, and they've got their license taken away. And then they blackballed Thymosin alpha 1 for years. And just recently, this last year, we were able to make it again. So Thymosin alpha 1 is a game changer. Is MK677 worth it? So it really depends on what's worth it. Is it worth raising IGF-1 levels? Is it worth, gaining strength and, hopefully gaining some more calories to build a better body? It's worth it. Is it worth it if you're going to eat like garbage, not train, and do the wrong things? It's not worth it. Don't take it. I'll be the first one to tell you. If you're not doing the right things, don't do it.
Well, see, I'm worse than Johnny. It's like if you're not going to do the right things, then shouldn't be on here, shouldn't be talking to us, shouldn't do any of it.
Don't do it. But you know what? People might not want to do the right things, and you know what, Mike? There's always that small chance that maybe that we get through to them. So if we can help one person in this conversation, or maybe bring them over that line to they want to change, then hey, listen, that's great.
We had an absolute savage with us today, and I noticed, not Bobo, but I noticed that this kid is a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, competes, does very well, 170 pounds, could tie me up into a pretzel, and I noticed the strength he lost from going from MK and just going, hey, I stopped for a couple months and not doing anything.
Yeah.
And the drive, the strength, the desire in the workout. And man, I tell you, when he left, that boy was beat down mentally because we didn't stop teasing him. It was like you built up so much, and you're a very competitive person and stuff.
Yeah.
And if this helps that 1% just to get you mentally there, just to get you mentally wanting to lift better and do that and get the recovery
right
in your peak years at 32, this is your time, son.
For sure.
This is your time. So for me, I said to him, you call Titan Medical and get back on the MK. I said, yeah, that's, so I know
it works.
Yeah.
It works. It's definitely worth it as far as that goes, man. I mean, I don't know. I've had a lot of guys. I know there was a question on here too. What would you recommend for ectomorphs? This is something I would recommend for ectomorphs. You got a problem, you can't gain weight, take some MK. I mean, I wouldn't really recommend this to too many girls out there, but I gave it to a couple girls that were very disciplined and really wanted to build the bottom end, and they really did a good job doing it too. So, I mean, that's if you want to build, this is definitely one that you guys should be able to take. That, I mean, right now, even the clinical data on it, like they're giving us like 55 year and older, old people. And they're raising IGF-1 levels 123% on these people. It's amazing.
There we go.
Big Mike, I'm in the military, so running is an unfortunate part of my training. That's sort of mandatory. Any tips on building muscle in combination with lame cardio? So, I went to military school, so I know how, the conditioning portion of it is, right? You're running a lot, you're running formation a lot, but you're also doing a lot of different training, right? So, one big thing that, was always a big thing for me, it was push-ups and pull-ups. You'll do a ton of these things. Yeah, I mean, using that and then weightlifting, incorporating with the cardio, and then be able to eat a little bit more calories, I think would set you up for success.
Yeah, let's bring those calories up the best you can. If you're in the military, depending on what branch, you should be able to eat pretty well. From the some of the USO tours I've taken, obviously the further away you go from the Marines, you eat better and better. But yeah, just try to get the calories up, and then when it comes to the lifting, the less reps, the heavier weights, the less time in the gym is going to help you the best, because it's going to try to offset. You're out there, you're doing the cardio, you're really kicking into gear, and you're probably running with packs on, or at least at times you're running with those packs on. So you're really beating your body down. So I would just try to stimulate to the least amount in the gym, instead of going ballistic here on the cardiovascular and also going ballistic on the training. You just got to find what works for you to put that size on.
Push-ups, sit-ups, and pull-ups. Tons. How to make my lower back more armored to help my conventional deadlift go up. I mean, you work lower back exercises, correct? Pretty simple.
Yeah, partials. Do other exercises to strengthen it. Do good mornings. I think good mornings is a huge one, mostly for conventional deadlift. But also do squats is going to help your deadlifts go up. So don't think that one dimension is it. Good mornings, T-bar rows, bent over rows is going to help that conventional. You getting stronger in all aspects is going to help you get that better. And you look young and stuff, so I wouldn't go away from sumos either. I'd go back and forth.
Definitely. Any thoughts on SARM Rad 140 for strength and dry gains? Kind of concerned about hair loss. I'd be more concerned about the liver toxicity and then possibly shutting down your natural production. I don't think the strength and the dry gains are worth that. I think.
What's a dry gains?
They look grainy. They're dry. Like, that ain't gonna make you dry like that.
That ain't no thing. That's just made up.
It ain't gonna make you to cement, man. You ain't gonna be like that. So, listen, there are way better things that you could utilize for strength and gains in general. I mean, MK is going to be way better, I think, to this.
I've never heard anybody talk about SARMs in a beneficial way. I've not.
Unless they're slanging it. I see all the people slanging it, talk about it. I'm like,
I mean, if you're selling it, that's one thing. But I've never heard good benefits from it.
I've seen bad side effects.
Bad side effects.
That's why, I mean, honestly, listen, pharmaceutical companies were the ones developing it. There's a reason they dropped it. That's the reason they dropped it. It's a select androgen receptor modulator. They were building it just like a SERM, select estrogen receptor modulators. And those are FDA approved, right? So yeah, SARMs, they're just no good, man. There's just too many negative side effects. Like, if you're gonna want the gains and you're gonna take this, if it's going to shut down your natural production, you might as well go on test. I'm just being honest. You might as well go
Remember the question earlier? The guy says, is MK worth it?
Yes.
And so my response there would be 100%.
Yes.
100% worth it. If you ask me, is SARMs worth it? I'd say absolutely not. There's no SARMs. When if I get it for free? Still don't take it.
Yeah.
Your mom buys it for you. Still don't touch it.
Big deal. You're still going to have to deal with the repercussions. Doesn't matter if free or not. Like, you're getting something that you're going to take, and at that point, it's going to shut down your natural production. So, like, if you're going to go down that path, you might as well go with testosterone and call it a day, and at least get all the benefits without the liver toxicity. And then you get real gains. I enjoy high rack pulls to help build my deadlift. Are rack pulls crucial as an entry to deadlifts? I don't think so, but what do you think, Mike? Are they crucial?
Yeah, they're a great method of doing an overload for if done correctly. They're great at it. We did floor bench today. A floor bench is probably what's equal to a rack pull for a deadlift. It's a partial movement. You should use heavier weights, slow it down. The problem with rack pulls is it's for some reason kids, not kids, all most people do rack pulls incorrectly. It's a tap and go. It's too far up the thigh. Yeah, you still want to have it stressed, and it should be a good 100 pounds more than your deadlift, but it's a good exercise. And look at the difference between this guy does that and the conventional, where the other guy says, "I don't want to deadlift. I'm scared of it." So it's a great mindset for two individuals. I like the second individual's mindset that he's trying to get stronger. He's trying to bulletproof his body, where the other one says, "I read something. This is not a good exercise. It hurt somebody once."
Best way to keep your physique complete and avoid having muscles that lag behind. Be able to train completely, I guess. I mean, that's one thing, right? I mean, you have laggy body parts. I mean, obviously you need to train them a little bit more, or different exercise, or a different program.
I can't answer this. Well, it's you're always working on getting your body better. You're always trying to get better, complete the physique. You got to keep pushing.
You don't want muscles to lag behind. At that point, make sure you're on top of it. And if you need to train a certain set of muscle groups, an extra time to get there, then that's what you need to do. I think everybody except for Michael Hearn has one body part that they struggle with getting better, or bigger, or more defined. And that could be calves for some individuals. That could be bicep for some individuals. That could be back for some individuals. That could be chest for some individuals. That could be traps for some individuals. So I think it really depends on the person. But I don't think that I think everybody could get those gains. I think that it might just be a little change or tweak in what they're doing.
Okay, I understand it a little better now. When you're training, I guess this is what, if I'm correct on this, when you're training and some body parts start to respond quicker, or everybody has an up and down. Some years your shoulders grow better than your arms, and then your arms grow better than your back. And so when you do that, just keep focusing on the weaker body part. That's the main goals. Your weakest body part should be, and weakest, I don't mean physically, I mean visually and strength wise, all aspects. Just work on that part harder or smarter. I don't want to say harder, smarter, to keep it up with the rest of the body during your growth, and then manage the decline. So on the reverse side.
Hey, Mike, 29, 6'3", 248, just in case my calories again to around 4,600. Seeing great gains in this off season. However, I feel severely bloated all the time, but I don't want to give up. Thoughts? That could come with the territory eating that many calories.
Yeah,
what food you're eating too as well.
Yeah, you'll have good days that you feel it, and certain days that you don't. What's a good sign, though, I think, is that when you are trying to put this size on, you're eating some great calories. First off, great job. That's a good size human, and it's a good amount of calories.
Yeah.
Look for the good days. You split it. It's 50-50. Some days you feel bloated, some days you don't. Stress plays into that. You're retaining a little bit more water one day. But the cool thing is, when you notice less and less bloated days at that calorie intake, you're really setting yourself up to win, to where you'll be at a point where my body now utilizes that 4,600. Now I can jump up again and get that 255, maybe 260 pounds body weight at 5,500 calories. So yeah, it does happen. You're eating a lot.
Man, for sure.
Don't fall into this. Don't fall into this. My body's not. What do they do? I have bad gut health, and I got.
Oh my
It's always the gut health, and my food is not digest. You're eating
Yeah.
4,600 calories. Life's tough. Just keep going. Don't worry. You get bloated
Yeah.
like this.
My shoulders are messed up from years of powerlifting and BJJ. I can do dumbbell floor presses without pain. Will it do a sufficient job at keeping the chest in shape if I have the dumbbells at 45 degrees?
I'll say that's a true power lifter. He knows that he can open that shoulder up to keep it safe. So,
Yep.
Part of the wear and tear of our legacy, my friend, powerlifting and BJJ, two things that, if done, a little off, could wreck stuff. But I would say don't give up and jump on over to Johnny and Titan Medical.
APC and TB for sure.
Yeah.
We got some awesome healing peptides. We'll definitely help you out for sure.
Yeah, get on there. Take some extra collagen. Don't give up on that. I would hate to see somebody that's done this with passion to this point to not do it. Johnny's in there, and Johnny's shoulders are gone. And we're also just follow along over this next couple of months. Me and Johnny going to go down to Mexico to see a show. Oh no, I mean to do some stem cell therapy as well. So, keep that in mind as well.
Yeah.
There's other options. Don't just give up. But I love that you're not giving up now and you're still doing the movements. John, is there something you can do for your chest to keep it fired? Because that's what you want, right? You want to still put blood in there and keep movement. So what are some of the ranges that you do?
That would be, I would use Hercules Potion, one thing to increase blood flow, and then the other thing, I do 45 degrees. For me on chest days, I'm working with dumbbells, doing flat incline, and I'm gonna start doing increasing to decline too as well. I do a couple of exercises like flies and everything afterwards, but I keep my elbows in tight, and I'm going straight up, and I could feel everything in my chest, like. I guess when I was younger, maybe I didn't live as cautious, right? Because you don't feel like that. So, but I mean, this is the best form I think I've ever had in my life, and it's because I have to do it, because otherwise I'm gonna be feeling pain, and I don't want to feel pain. So when I do it like that, I pretty much don't feel any pain, which is great. And like I'm doing 100, 105 pound dumbbells in each hand. So at that point, I'm putting up some decent weight for my size. And I'm happy. I'm not hurting or anything like, I come on the set. I'm not like that. So that's definitely a good thing for me, 1,000,000%. And I'm bone on bone. I have arthritis all throughout my arm. I need a total shoulder replacement in my right shoulder. So at that point, like, hey, listen, I'm getting through right now. Hopefully in a couple months, I'll have another solution, and that'll be great. But until then, I'm just, I'm doing what I have to do. I'm getting in there. I'm training when I need to train. And I want to progress, right? Like, I don't even want to just maintain. Like,
right.
I want to progress. I'm not there to maintain. Like, people, I just want to get to this point and kind of stay there. Like, hell no. Like, I'm not waking up. I'm not doing this just to maintain. That's great for you. It ain't great for me. Like, that's not what I'm here to do.
Yeah, we can't have that. You have way too many nice clothes. We can't have those things hanging on you.
Way too much nice shit. Yeah, there's no way. There's no way. So, I mean, obviously, listen. And in the beginning of Titan, I was a lot bigger. I was like 225, 230, right? I'm like 205 to 210 right now is where I fluctuate.
Yeah, but you're a different 205, 210.
Yeah, I mean,
you're different. You're
right?
like a superhero 210. It looks you're walking well.
It looks bigger than what it is. So that's that. I'm gracious to that. But like,
no, I'm sorry about your body.
Yeah.
Sorry, you threw that to me. I had to take that one.
All right. Do you recommend testosterone replacement for getting muscle fast? I don't recommend testosterone replacement for getting muscle fast. I recommend testosterone replacement to improve quality of life. And if you have low testosterone, you increase your testosterone levels. That will help you build muscle faster. So I guess it's answer to your question if you really want it. It will help you build muscle faster if you have healthy testosterone levels than not. If you do not have healthy testosterone levels, you're not going to build muscle as fast and as easy. And you're probably going to be putting on a lot more fat too as well. So that's just where the blood test comes into play and looking where everything's at to be able to fix it and optimize.
I'm sorry to say this. This probably isn't the kind of person you would want as a client at Titan Medical. Am I wrong on that?
It's just something we have to educate. Like people automatically stereotypically say, like, if I take testosterone, I'm going to build muscle. Like, I'm telling you, when I first started Titan, I used to have, and this was a big mistake on my part, but I used to like watching when I used to go out there. It used to motivate me. I used to have in our first office, I would have the one TV we had on the wall, and I'd be playing Pumping Iron. Right? And Teresa came back there. She's like, you need to
turn that off
right now, because the people that come in there, they're like, I don't want to look like this, right? I do, and of course, the first comment, right? You never will, right? So don't ever worry about that. You never will look like this. But after that, I like, all right, I have to like turn this off. Like, this is something like motivates me, but not other people. So that's a stereotypical thought. I'm gonna take testosterone. I'm gonna get jacked, but that's not what happens. Like, there's 1,000,001 people that I know in through groups or that come to us that are taking grams of testosterone and they look like a sack of potatoes, amongst other things that they're taking too as well. Like, they're taking so much stuff. Like, you should look like Adonis with all the stuff that you're taking, but you're not doing all the other different things that you should be doing. So that's why you look like this. So that's where it's at. So don't automatically think I need to take testosterone to build a whole bunch of muscle. But if you want to build muscle, you need optimal testosterone levels and you need balance.
Before we jump back, the only reason I brought that up for that last viewer is just because of the fact that it's so one-dimensional, and it's also you're doing something off of a visual thing instead of a health thing. Right. So it's a short-lived rock star for a second, and you're doing it for the wrong reasons. You eat healthy and you train, and that's going to help you get muscle as fast as anybody can get muscle. But if you're doing it just for that purpose, you're doing it for the wrong reason. But here's a great one. And we know we've just been talking about all this. Go for it.
Trouble sleeping. Any tips? So obviously sleep is a major part of everything that's going on as far as recovery, revitalization, recharging, rebuilding muscle, and the whole nine. It's super, super essential for your health. What do we have for sleeping? So Titan Serenity is one of our main things that we utilize. It's all natural, has L-theanine, magnesium, and taurine. So it's going to help you go to sleep, stay asleep, and hopefully get in that good REM sleep so you get all the benefits for your sleep. Super, super awesome. But, outside of that, turn off electronics at least an hour before bedtime. Don't look at your phone an hour before bedtime. Like, put it to the side, try to turn down the lights, try to get in the most calming manner that you possibly can, and try to sleep the best you possibly can. Try to sleep the whole night through if you can. Go to the bathroom beforehand. Do everything.
Did you say MK?
MK is another one.
Right?
I said Titan Serenity, but MK would be another one. Or any of the other GHRHs like CJC or anything else. These are going to be essential for helping you go to bed and getting that deep REM sleep and having their best recovery with IGF-1 levels increasing too as well.
A couple of little bullet point here, fast ones. Ready, go.
Should I be sore the next day after a workout? Yes. I mean, if you're doing something right. 2 days afterwards, you're going to be sore.
I'd be great if you are. You're not always sore. Mostly if you're pretty consistent. There's days you're sore, days you're not.
I think the more you get in the routine, the more you're on it, the less you're sore.
Yeah.
Obviously, when you start that first time, or you keep going back and you haven't went, and that's the problem. A lot of people, they just go back and they do the hardest exercise they possibly can, do the most they can that one day back, and they're so sore that next week that it just detours them to ever want to go back again. Is hitting biceps twice a week okay for me in my early 40s, or should I do more? I think twice a week's good. I don't know. I don't think about doing any more than twice a week. I think twice a week is good.
Do more. Holy cow, you're a psycho, man. Good job. Wow.
I got those programs.
Do it 5 times a week. Go for
I would do 2 times tops.
Is this where we're going next, Jeff?
We did the one that you did.
D-
That was-
right there.
Mile, 46 years old, thinking about TRT. Is it worth it? Worried about side effects. So TRT is definitely worth it if you need it. And having everything monitored is the biggest thing. And having the right components with testosterone to make sure you have minimal to no side effects and getting all the benefits of testosterone. It's totally worth it. They have so much clinical data on why it's worth it and how much it helps your health that it would be a disservice to you if you had low testosterone not to do it.
Yeah, you're 46. Go read some research on the benefits.
Yeah.
On the benefits of having healthy T levels.
Hey, Mike, 49 years old, looking for the essential supplements for someone wanting to maintain peak performance. Well, testosterone would be one.
I would say there's a blood work that Titan Medical does, both for your natural testosterone levels and free. On top of that, also a secondary panel of amino acids, essential amino acids, and it will tell you what you're lacking and what you're good at.
Yep.
So I would definitely do those two things.
Yep.
Johnny, you agree with that one?
Yeah, no, 100%. 100%. I think
And
definitely looking at the blood work is key. Hello, Mike. I'm in a calorie deficit, lifting weights and gaining weight. Is my fat turning into muscle? Well, how are your clothes fitting? Right? So the scale's going up. How do you look in the mirror? Is things changing or are your clothes fitting looser? I think that would be the thing if you're recomping. But if you're going to a calorie deficit, you're lifting weights and you're still gaining weight, then something could be going on. I mean, I don't know how you do that if you're going to a calorie deficit.
I also don't know how you turn fat into muscle. So I recommend for that last person to get a trainer. I would talk to a trainer, somebody that knows a little bit about exercise. It could be a surge. It could be just a basic ACE trainer, or just
You're burning fat and you're building muscle is what you're going to want to do. It's not going to change into it. It transforms.
Yeah. Jeffrey, give us a burner.
How do you know when a body part is recovered and you can work on it again? Well, if it's not sore, not injured, I think that's a good preliminary, right? Like you didn't work out the day before. You gave your day at least a day of rest of it, and at that point, not feeling sore or hurt in any way, shape, or form, right? Feeling good, going in there and being able to do it.
This actually is a real good question because, like most pros say, the easiest thing to do is overtrain. It's the easiest thing to do, which kind of sucks because we love training. So the issues are this. It's exactly this. It's like, okay, so your chest is recovered. All right. Have you eaten enough and taken enough time in between to get back and be stronger on the next workout and also get the rest of the body parts in between then? This is where the intelligent lifter comes into play because your chest might recover in 3 or 4 days, but you didn't get the rest of the body in. So how do you go back to that? Well, let me do twice a week. Well, so again, it's a great question. This is something that you're going to have to stay in the gym and kind of can continue to learn your body. Johnny does a body part a week, right?
Right.
You're hitting everything once a week. And so
Yep.
technically that's 7 days, Monday.
Yep.
And there's times I do power bodybuilding, which I love, and we're hitting a body part twice a week, but we can pinpoint that I'm getting stronger week to week. So I know I'm not overtraining. So that's actually a very tough question. Just for anybody that's on here, don't just do a body part because it's not sore or you feel refreshed. That's a tough one because you go into the gym. Johnny, you ever gone into the gym feeling like you're going to just lift the gym and you're absolutely the opposite?
Flat. Yeah.
And then there's
Feel
times
flat.
you're like, I'm sick, I don't feel good, I'm run down, and you go in the gym, you lift more.
There is times like that. And I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, what did I do wrong? You got to look back. You're like, what did I do? When days are good, you got to look back. What did you do the day before? What did you do that day? And if things are bad, you look at it. I know that's what like Lee Haney used to do. I think is what he was talking about. Like in his carbs, he used to look at it like, hey, I didn't get enough this day. I looked a little bit too flat. Next day, I increased my carbs. I looked a lot better and I pumped up. So I mean, it's just like you need to recognize like how you're doing, how you're feeling, how you're looking, I guess. And at that point, readjust, readapt, tweak it back in, and then go forward. Yeah, there's definitely days that have been like that for me. And I would say, like, you know, on those days, I'm like, all right, well, what did I do wrong? And I'll go back to the drawing board. Like, maybe I didn't sleep good that night before. Maybe I didn't eat enough. Maybe I didn't give myself enough days to recover. I mean, there's a lot of different things and variables that go into it. So, yeah, it's definitely, you need to look at it. I mean, with the overtraining thing, do I think that pros or some people could overtrain? But do I think that some of these people overtrain and say they're overtraining? I don't know. I don't know if they truly overtrain.
Yeah.
You know, that's the other thing. Unless you're watching their workouts and like, all right, or you're doing this because, you know, overtraining, you can get injured too as well if you're truly overtraining, right? So there's a lot of different things that go into that play. And like if you truly are, I've seen, you know, pros like where they've talked about, I think I was watching one of your interviews when you were interviewing Jay Cutler and he was talking about like how his training schedule are and he trains every day no matter what. Like he does 7 days. And that's what he does now. But do I think you need a day or two of rest? Absolutely. You know, I think that a day or two rest, especially if you need it. If you need the day or maybe 2 days you need, I don't know. But I think the rest is there. And I definitely think that you should judge it by, you know, if you're coming back in stronger and how you're doing, how you're looking.
It's a beautiful question, my friend. Thank you. I know that it may
one.
seem like it's not to most people, but I understand this is the chess match, and that is part of the game on deciding just because your chest feels recovered, have you still taken enough time or not enough time to go in?
Mike, does warming up more equal better joints? How much warm up is overkill? So I think we talked about this, I think last time too, as well. Warming up is great for the joints. That's what you want to do. You want to warm up those areas. And I think Mike said he warms up most of the time anyway until he gets to his lift. Right?
If I work out for an hour, if we work out for an hour, let's say hypothetically chest, I think 45 minutes of it is warm-ups on exercises, and actual lifting time is 15 minutes. Yeah, right. So yeah, I believe it's like the pitcher, right? You know, you watch Peter. He had to come in the other night, right?
Yep,
I'm probably pretty close on this, but it's the 9th inning. He's got to come in and close it out.
Yep.
He's over there for a freaking hour and a half, just getting it, just loosening it up, just getting that thing in. Then he gets in there, throws his 9 to 12 pitches or whatever that is.
Right.
Done. Game over.
Right. Yep.
That's my training.
That's a perfect example. That's exactly how it is too.
Because it's the 9 innings throwing it, you know, 16, 20 times.
Yeah.
Now we're destructive. Now it's like this kid's going to need the next 3 games off.
Right.
And it goes back to the previous question again. Some days you're going to have to do it. And some days you just be smart, come in, hit it and get out. And like Jeff said, he warmed up for an hour and a half this morning and then smashed the workout within 20, 25 minutes. So great questions. You guys finished strong today.
Yeah. Well, these are awesome.
And health. And then anybody in here, just so you guys understand that my post yesterday reflects a lot of these questions. The joints and ligaments are the most important part. And that comes from being smart, but also the BPC and the TB500 are the 2 peptides since I've been with Titan Medical that I've started day 1, and I have never gone off those 2 peptides since day 1 on being on Titan Medical.
Yeah.
That is
that's daily regimen for me too. I need it. That's literally what gets me by every day for sure, 1,000,000%.
And then you're gonna go, well, I thought you don't have joints and issues and stuff, and it's like I don't want them either. So,
Right.
so I'll stay ahead of that.
Yeah.
So don't wait till the shoulder's gone. Don't wait till these things are injured. Don't wait till your body's wrecked.
No.
Do the blood work. I still think you should do the secondary blood work on the essential aminos at least one time to see your drink, like I
Yeah.
said, this is filled with EAAs, BCAAs, and glutamine first thing in the morning.
Mhm.
That's additional to the Hercules potion and the EAA. So again, I would rather have enough than come up short.
Absolutely. That's what you do want an abundance of. I mean, you want to, that's only working for your body to help enhance.
Jump back real quick on. You got V-Day in another day, so make sure to give Titan Medical a call. My recommendation is the PT 141 this time out for you guys. Try that out.
That's a good one.
Make her
Definitely a good
happy.
one.
Make her scream.
That's what I'm saying.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, listen,
Wow.
you could have the worst date ever and go home and hit it and be happy, smiling, cooking some food later. So that's what we want for you.
That is a shot, but then there's also they have tablets. So
we have trochees. It's buy 5 get the 6th free too as well. So you actually get some benefit there too.
So Sam, if you're watching, you just I know you're 32, but you need to serve it up this week. And Bobo, you got your 5 girlfriends, so I get the PT 141.
Yeah.
Johnny, thanks for hanging, brother.
I appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it, bro. I'll talk to you later.
I'll talk to you later. Yep.
Ooh,
What's up, dog?
From ET Nem. I enjoy lifting, running, and BJJ. How do I balance all 3 without overtraining? Thanks.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how many days you're doing BJJ. I understand the running. The running, you can probably have the best intelligence around going, hey, I need to run about 3 days, because you don't need to do the running on days that you do BJJ, especially if you're rolling at the end of class, right? Because if you're rolling at the end of the class, you already got a heart rate that's well, mine's way too high. I need to learn to breathe better and not flex through this stuff. But you're probably a little bit much more calm than I am. But you're still getting the heart rate up there at the end of class when you're rolling. So again, are you going 3 days a week there? And then the lifting would be on those off days. And you should be able to get the whole body in within 4 days of lifting. So maybe 4 days of lifting, 3 days of BJJ, and then use the cardiovascular for the running on other days that you feel recovered from it. Try to get at least 1 day off a week. You know what I mean? And I would do it a weekday. I wouldn't do a weekend off. I would do a work week off. Give me another one.
What we got here? They might love the content. Is it better to hit the muscles hard once per week or moderately multiple times per week? She's got a phone.
Nah, she does.
Like, she's raw dog.
She's killing that thing. Good for her.
Let me get that again. They might love the content. Is it better to hit the muscles hard once per week or moderately multiple times per week?
Well, your workouts would always be at a good, 60, 70, 80% range. So you're always hitting it really good. There wouldn't be a moderate and then a hard. Hopefully that makes sense to you, because there's that percentage of training, because you should be training to get better, right? You're not going into the gym just to go, I'm going to go through the motions today. Today I'm going to give it. Tomorrow I'm going to go half-ass. You know those people that say that? They go like, I do heavy 3 days and I go light weights 3 days. Well, now you got mileage on those 3 days that you're doing light weights and you're not doing anything to the body. So yeah, I would rather you do hard workouts twice a week if you want, for a period of time. See how your body reacts to it. That'd be the go-to. You're young, hit it, get in there, be a savage.
Do you ever experience burnout and take a few weeks off?
Never in my life. Not even slightly.
What?
In no world.
If I work manual labor, should I go straight into workout or warm up? Does he mean like from
Wow. Yeah, he's saying that because he does hard work, that he's already warmed up when he goes into train. Yeah, I would make sure it's two different worlds. Two different worlds. Should always warm up. Anybody that's here, I recommend warming up. Moving through the exercises, understanding the motor skills for that exercise, continuously raising the weights till you get to your working weight. What do we got here?
I have 17. I start a few years. Do you have any advice?
Is he
Maybe
saying?
he means I'm turning 17 in a few weeks.
I would say that so.
Do you have any advice?
Eat. Make sure that nutrition plan is on point and absolutely correct. Utilize 17, my friend. Utilize the age 17 and how well your body is working with you.
We got that one. We got that one earlier. Unless you wanna
Mm.
do a little quickie on her. What is it? Will you be disappointed if Titan doesn't win Mr. Olympia?
I'd be disappointed if Titan won Mr. Olympia. I would come up. I'd be a sad father if that's the route he went.
What? Dude, come on, Mike. That's all he's capable of. What are you talking about?
Oh, that would be. I'd be the last guy that I want my son doing that.
Uh, 5'11" was 320. Now I'm down to 270. Eating about 1,500 calories, arms, core, legs, high protein. Anything else you recommend to get that next big chunk of weight off?
Yeah, work backwards. Make sure that you're leaving enough room that you can continue to move forward. So what a lot of people do that are heavy is they'll just cut the calories down to a low number. 15 is not bad. It's not bad because the goal for you is to drop the weight. So I'm not worried about a bodybuilding show or something like that, or you retaining all your muscle. Whatever muscle you lose on this diet, you can get back afterwards, after you get to the shape you want to be in. So I would just make sure that you're leaving room for you to get better. That way you don't end up plateauing. And when you plateau, disappointment happens, and then the reversal, and you come back and gain everything back. Don't want that for you.
Are you still doing the reverse camber bar, Mike? It looks like a deep stretch.
It's an absolute bonker stretch. Yeah, it's a great one.
What is the best / most efficient method of cutting weight? And how important is it to lose weight slowly to prevent losing muscle? Love you, Mike.
I'm not too concerned about muscle loss. Obviously, keep the calories as high as you possibly can as you're dieting down. I recommend slowly, a slow process of doing it. And then just the basic for anybody that's cutting up is just the lower of the calories throughout the period of time. Make sure you're starting at a good number, because after that 8 to 10 weeks, you still have to be able to make sure that you can make changes to the nutrition. Great question.
What was it like competing in the universe? That competition seems so involved in its own ways.
I think all of them were great. I think the universe was great. I think I had more fun at some of the other shows, but universe was great. I think I had more fun at the smaller amateur teen shows when I was first starting out. When I was just doing it because it was fun and I loved it and I wanted to compete and stuff. When it became somewhat of a requirement, kind of took some of the fun out of it. If that makes sense to you. Then the pressure started, and it's like I won the universe, go back, win the universe again, go back, win the universe. Compared to like some of the teen shows, I still remember my first teenage show. and how freaking fun it was as a 14-year-old going out there and doing it, and the whole family there and supporting. So
Born to be wild.
born to be wild.
37 years old. I find that my knees ache pretty bad the day after squatting. Is this indicative of poor form, or am I just an old man officially?
Yeah, unfortunately, this is how life works. I don't know what your form is. At 37, yeah, I don't see that there should be some knee pains already. No early arthritis or something like that. So I would definitely make sure that you're doing the squats right. Because think of this. You're 37 and your knees are already starting to hurt after the workout. What's that going to be in 10 years? What's that going to be in 20 years? So yeah, the goal, and I'm glad you asked, and it's a great question. I would really make sure that your knee positioning is great when you do the squats.
Hey Mike, thanks for the content. Is there a workout app or program you'd recommend or have for us? Thank you.
Yeah, I think everybody on here would benefit from power bodybuilding. I think first off, you wouldn't overtrain. For the first time in your life, you would be training at a level to where you're understanding percentages. On top of that, you're going to be the first time that you're gaining strength in a rapid speed that you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize you can get stronger over 12 weeks tremendously, in a healthy way, in a good way, in a smart way. And I think that's one of the biggest things. And then also on top of it, it's going to show you the proper forms so you're not hurting yourselves. And then it'll also give you that appetite to where you're like, wait a minute, I can eat and I'm burning it off and I'm getting this muscle and I'm getting this strength. And so I would say for anybody and everybody, power bodybuilding should be the go-to right now for the next 12 weeks. Great question.
How often should I train flexibility, and should I do it only after lifting?
Well, the one thing is, yeah, stretching should be after you're warm, after there's a blood flow. For me, I don't have that kind of time in the day to where I would be stretching out for a half an hour or hour after the workout. So that's why I really try to stretch during the warm-ups in the range of motion that I'm working that day and keep that range of motion. So when you watch us squat and everything, you'll see us moving through it in a great way. There's no way there's In-N-Out Burger right there.
No, there's not In-N-Out Burger, but there's some snacking going on. There's some snacking going on. You wish.
Wow. I'm out of here, guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good night.